Welcome to Greek for a Week. We are going to wrap up this particular paragraph that we've been working through the last couple of weeks, which is chapter 2, verses 13 through 16. And we're going to wrap it up by looking at verses 15 and 16 this week. And if you'll notice, when we finished up verse 14, I had mentioned to you that really verse 14 continues into 15 and 16. And so we're going to try to do that real quick here, and that is, so verse 14 follows into verse 15 and 16. So the suffering that the Thessalonians endured by their own countrymen are now being described. And so we're going to see that with a number of attributive participles as well as an adjective. So let me work through this, and then we'll see how things can work out. So let me word the last part of verse 14. Because you yourselves also endured the same sufferings by your own countrymen, just as they themselves also by the Jews, who both killed the Lord Jesus and the prophets, and drove us out, and they are not pleasing to God, and they are hostile to all men, forbidding us to speak to the Gentiles in order that they might be saved, so that they fill up their sins always. But the wrath has come upon them to the utmost. Okay, so let me make note again of a couple of things here. So you'll see the tone. Here is our article, tone, and that precedes this participle here, apokte non-tone. That is an attributive participle that is attributing a quality back up to the countrymen that did the suffering onto the Thessalonians. What else did they do? They killed, it says here, aorist active participle, plural genitive masculine of apokteno. What else did they do? They also drove us out. So this also would be an attributive participle. They drove us out. Aorist active participle, plural genitive masculine of ekdioko. One more attributive participle is here. Okay. The rs scanton, and that is an aorist active participle, plural genitive masculine of rs go, and that is so these right here, let me say this one and this one and this one, all three attributive participles. They killed, they drove us out, and then they are not pleasing. So here's the negation here. They are not pleasing to God. Now let me make note. Here's a predicate adjective that they're hostile. So though that's not an attributive participle, it is an adjective that continues to describe because it's in the genitive case here. So all four of those attribute qualities to those who brought about suffering on the Thessalonians. Now let's continue, because you also have another attributive participle here, the ko-lu antone. That is a present active participle, plural genitive masculine of ko-luo. So I would say that they are continually forbidding us. They're forbidding Paul and those that are with him to speak to the Gentiles if they are forbidding in an ongoing way. That's the present tense form. Of course, your lelesai is your aorist active infinitive, complementary infinitive. So in a sense, we're saying they are forbidding us from doing what? What is that? And there you go. There's your complementary infinitive. It complements the participle, or it completes the thought of the participle for the purpose of, here's your hina, or for the goal of trying to save the Gentiles. Ace ta plus the infinitive here, ace ta plus the infinitive. That I'm suggesting is result. And then here you have a de contrast here. So, but the wrath, here's the wrath, has come upon them. And then here's ace telos. You could say to the utmost, or for the goal of the utmost. So there is verses 15 and 16 to wrap up the paragraph 13 through 16. So next week we'll diagram and we'll see how things work out. Have a great week.